Hey guys, thanks for joining me again. Out here at camp, kicked back, having a couple of cold beers. I thought I'd take this opportunity while I'm just chilling out here at camp to have a little bit of a talk about the gear I use. I get questions pop up about, what gear I use, what I take out on location with me, and those sort of things. So I'll take this opportunity to sort of run through what I've got, and I'll put things into, sort of categories of, what's locked in, not going to change, and other bits of kit that we're sort of in that grey area that may get swapped out for other bits of kit in the future if I find something that works better. So anyway, let's get stuck into it. So I think the first thing that really deserves a mention is, the car that gets me out here on location and gets me out here for extended periods of time. Without that thing, I couldn't do what I'm currently doing. That thing gets me out for weeks on end. I just need fuel, water, and, well, beer. Beer would probably bring me back to civilization sooner than water, but without that thing, none of this would be possible. And if you haven't seen the video about, how I built it and why I built it the way I did, I'll put a link down below so you can go and check that out. Now, I honestly don't know where to start. There is so much junk on this table, and it's not until you get things laid out like this that you realize how much stuff you've got. And I hope my wife doesn't watch this video because she might not approve any future purchases. Anyway, I might start with this bag. So I'm not even sure what brand this bag is, to be honest with you, but it's a Vanguard bag. And the only thing I know about it is it's a 50-litre bag. It's a hiking bag, and it's got all the usual compartments and things like that. And the only thing I'll say is this is in the grey area because, over the last couple of months, I've acquired a fair bit more gear to, produce these YouTube videos, and I'm just not quite sure that this bag is big enough to do what I want it to do anymore. So that bag is definitely in the grey area, but I do like the idea of having a hiking bag that's big enough to carry, 2 cameras, your tracker, a couple of tripods, so that it doesn't matter where you go, if you're away from your car, you can have all your stuff and you can hike comfortably. So I think the next thing we need to talk about is my mounts that I use for tracking. Now, I've got 2 that I bring with me all the time. So I've got the Move Shoot Move here, and this is just primarily set up to do some time lapses for producing those videos. And that one's definitely in the grey area. I'm not super impressed with it, with its ability to be used as, a sole tracking mount. Now, if I was hiking, 10 kilometers and that was my mount and I was going to be at the top of a mountain, in the wind or whatever, I'm not sure that I would rely just on that mount. So that's definitely in the grey area. And something that I would probably look more to would be, I definitely want to try out the Star Adventurer Mini. So it's sort of in that same category of, super lightweight tracking mounts, but yeah, I really want to give that a go. So this is definitely in the grey area. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that this is my baby. So this is the Star Adventurer, and this is definitely locked into the bag. I mean, you can just do anything with it. I just don't baby that thing. It just gets thrown in the back of the rig, it gets beaten up. I hit, crazy corrugated roads and it just holds up. I put it on a tripod and it works every time. And the tracking accuracy is awesome, simple to use. So that is definitely staying in the bag. So I think the next thing we can talk about is lenses. Now, as you can see, I've got a full array of the Samyang Prime manual focus lenses. So I've got the 20mm, 24mm, 35mm, 50mm and 80mm in the Samyang Prime lenses. And I've also, this is a tank. This is another lens. I don't take it out too much because I don't shoot, telephoto stuff that often, but I've also got the 70 to 4, so that's how often I use it. I don't even know the focal range. 70 to 400 Sony lens there. So these lenses perform for me really, really well, but transitioning over the past, 12 months now into shooting more video stuff, I'm not sure that these are going to stay. Now for photography only, these lenses perform really well, but I'm probably going to look into more of a hybrid or get back into autofocus lenses. So some of the stuff I want to look to is the Sony 24 1.4, the Sony 35 1.4, just so I can utilize the autofocus features of it, you know, obviously for producing videos, as well as if I need to use them for, you know, still photography as well. So I guess we better talk about cameras at some stage here. So let's jump into that. So the first thing I'll talk about is the drone I bought. Now, this is only a recent purchase, and I've got the DJI Air 2S, and the main reason for that is purely to produce videos. So I'm not interested in, you know, drone photography or any of that sort of thing. That's there just to help set the scene for you guys and just show you where I am and that sort of thing. Now, I'm no drone pilot. That drone I bought because it's got some awesome automated features, so you know, it makes my life really, really easy. Now, jumping into the cameras I've got for photography. So I'll start with this one first. So this is a first generation Sony a7S. Now, this was primarily used as my video camera, but that's recently been replaced, but we'll get into that in a bit. And this camera is full spectrum modified. Now, this thing is an absolute weapon in the dark. So, you know, if you've been following me for a while, you would have seen some of my video footage that the colors look a little bit off. And that's because I just shot this, you know, with a pure naked sensor. I didn't put any filters on the lens. I didn't put any clip-in filters. So the colors you can see are really, really strange. But what it does, this thing can just see in the dark. I mean, you can handhold video and you can see the whole Milky Way, you can see nebula, you can see the whole thing just handheld with this camera. Now, this camera will now transition over into a time-lapse camera for me, and I've ordered some filters from Spencer's camera to put in front of that lens to hopefully, you know, put the colors back in check a little bit, just change it back to a hydrogen alpha modified camera, and you know, really try and dial in on those time lapses and get the quality a little bit better. Now, this is my main camera. So this is a Sony a7R II, and this thing is not going anywhere. So it's hydrogen alpha modified. The colors I get out of it are awesome. You know, the noise performance is awesome. I just love it. I mean, this is old as the hills now. I'm not sure what year these come out. Probably like 2015 maybe. But that thing's absolutely awesome. And, you know, I started my journey with the original A7R and, you know, was blown away with the performance of that. So that's why I've just, you know, stuck with the Sony along the way. So I've obviously acquired lenses, and I've just stuck with the bodies. Now, the third body I've recently purchased is the one that's filming this video. So I purchased the A7S III, and that's primarily going to be used for video. I'm not going to modify it. It's just there, so hopefully I can bring you guys a little bit better quality footage. It makes my life a lot easier. The features that camera's got is incredible. I don't know the first thing about half the features it's got, but I look forward to learning it, and you know, that's incredible. And on that camera is the Sigma 14 to 24 2.8. So that's what I'm using to video at the moment, and I'm absolutely loving it. Right, so now it's the nitty gritty stuff, and this is the stuff that really can bring people unstuck. In my bag, I've always got, you know, this little pouch that came with the backpack itself. So I've got a packet in there that's got, you know, what have I got? 4 or 5 extra SD cards, always. A bunch of batteries, you know, batteries that suit the tracker, my microphones, because you just never know when it's gonna, you know, turn bad. Lens warmer, always in the bag. This is just a cheap one, like an Amazon one. I've got a few of these, they're always in the bag. Intervalometers, same thing, cheap ones. I don't know if this is eBay, Amazon, same, got a bunch of these. I think I'll put 3 of these in my bag, just so I've got one for every camera that I'm using. This thing is awesome. So this is just a normal, everyday run-of-the-mill compass. And I don't know why, but I just don't trust phone technology when it comes to giving me readings, when it comes to, you know, bearings and things like that. So I've always got a compass with me, and this is what I use. If I want to do a rough polar alignment, if my camera is, you know, really low to the ground and I don't want to lay down a polar line, I can use this. I can use this to get bearings on, you know, some of the foreground objects I use. So I'll use that a lot. Head torch, same, they're all the same. I did invest a bit of money and got a decent one, but they're all the same. That's always in the bag. And then the power systems I use. So anyone who uses Sony stuff, especially the earlier generations, will know that the battery it's so bad. And that's another thing I love about the A7S III. It's got a new generation battery that actually lasts. So these cameras are shocking for battery life. You can't shoot time lapses, you can't shoot tracked panoramas. So I'm pairing it with the case relay, and it's just a dummy battery that goes into the camera. And obviously I've just got multiple power banks that I use to pair with those. And the last thing that's in my bag is this bag full of every single thing that has got a screw, a bolt, an Allen head, anything that I take with me that's got some sort of adjustment. The tool for it is always with me. So, you know, if you've been driving down a road and something's rattled loose on your tripod, your tracker, whatever, I've always got the tools to fix it. So I have learned from experience that, you know, you get out there and there's a screw missing because it's rattled out, or something's wonky and you can't fix it on location and your night's ruined. So I've put together a bag of stuff that covers everything I've got, you know, down to the little things like a battery for the polar scope illuminator, all those sort of things. So that's always in the bag as well. So the next thing to talk about is the hardware I'm using to capture tracked panoramas and the tripods I'm using now. This would definitely go into that grey area. Now that might sound a bit strange considering I put out a video talking about how to make tracked panoramas easy and the setup I've got, but I'm always trying to look for better ways and easier ways, you know, to do this sort of thing we're doing. So if I can find a better way to do it, I'll definitely do it, and I'll let you guys know. So the setup I've got with, you know, the ball head, the indexing pano head, and the two-way head on top of that, that's in the bag for now, but that may change. And as far as my tripods go, they're just cheap ones, they're Amazon ones, but it's definitely something that I want to upgrade. And for the pure fact, I want something a little bit sturdier for those windy nights where I'm not hiking, so I don't care about a heavier tripod. And yeah, just something a little bit sturdier. So the tripods I'm currently using are also in that grey area. So that's all my gear. So that's what I currently use, and I'll be really interested to hear in the comments below what gear that you would swap out for something else. That'd be a very interesting conversation to have. So I now get to pack all this stuff up, and as always, until next time, cheers guys.